Lagos is a very busy city. It is said to be the commercial nerve center of Africa. And one of the things peculiar to Lagos is um, traffic. The traffic situation in Lagos. Like some people living outside of Lagos, we tell them to come to Lagos. One of the things that's well, they complain about is the traffic situation, and this traffic situation is only it can only be explained by the number of people or the population of people in Lagos. People, are flocking into Lagos because, like Lagosians will say, Lagos is working. Now, in order to ease traffic, in order to ease the means of movement for Lagosians, the Lagos state government has been doing a lot in the area of transportation to ease transport. Now, attention is also paid to the water transportation in Lagos State. So much is being done. And so today we are at the Lagos State Waterways Authority. And this is where we have brought Tripple today, facts, faith, and forum. Because we want to talk to you, like live from here, what is going on and why, what is being done in the area of water transportation. So, welcome to today's edition of Facts, Faith, and Forum. My name is Peace Isaac. And after the break, I'll be introducing my guest for today. The fundamental responsibility of LASWA, that is Lagos State Water Authority, is to manage and improve and enhance navigation opportunities for Lagos State, and also to establish, maintain, and regulate the operation of any type of vessel that comes in and out of Lagos. Lagos is a commercial nerve center. Now, my guest today is the General Manager, Lagos State Waterways Authority, Mr. Emmanuel Olua Damilola. Thank you for giving us your time again today in the midst of all of the things happening in Lagos State.
Absolutely.
I wasn't expecting that you were going to, make our time, but I'm having it's making me to have an understanding of your personality, very committed and hardworking person,
Absolutely.
to push Lagos forward.
Yes.
Now, talk to us. The Lagos State Waterways Authority, I believe, has been doing so much in the area of transportation. Now, why do people need to travel by water?
Thank you very much. Well, like you said, Lagos is a very busy city. We constantly have people coming into Lagos. We're seeing citizens increase. We're seeing population increase almost on a daily basis. And the only thing you need to do to ensure that there are advanced modes of mobility. And one of these, of course, is to provide an alternative to the already saturated road transportation system. And subsequent to that would be to then deploy different modes of transportation, which Lagos State is actively doing in terms of the rail and, of course, the water transport, which you are here today to also speak about. So the reason why people would want to travel by water is to have that alternative to road transportation and, of course, to rail transportation as well.
How effective has that been, so far?
Well, very effective. I would say that we provided a very viable option to road transportation, but the whole idea now is not even just to provide alternatives, but to have an integrated transportation system so that beyond just having alternative modes to road transport, people can actually connect all the different modes and it can even get you to your final destination. So we give an example: if where you live is probably in Ikorodu, and you take a boat to, let's say, Falomo, but you're still going to maybe Awolowo Road, for example, or Balinde, you would get to the jetty at Falomo, but still have the first and last mile buses take you to your final destination. So the whole point is to ensure that not just does it serve as an alternative, which obviously a busy city like Lagos should have, like other busy cities all over the world, but also have an integrated, seamless transportation system.
Now, talk to us about the safety of the waterways in Lagos.
Well, that has consistently improved, and the only reason why I say that is because we're seeing other states wanting to benchmark what has happened in Lagos. And over the years, we've been through, of course, accurate data gathering. We've been monitoring the numbers, and generally we've seen a reduction in the amount of accidents. And I'm sure you as well will be able to bear witness to that. We've seen a reduction in the amount of accidents that we've seen on our waterways. So we would say that it's relatively safe, and we'll continue to improve upon it, because for us, it's to pretty much get to the point where, look, it's a 0% accident rate we're looking to work towards, and it's achievable, because if we put the right infrastructure in place, you sensitize the people appropriately, we would be able to reach that zero level of accidents on our waterways.
Is there a plan? When you travel to a city like Dubai, there's always, there's this tourist thing that they take advantage of the waterways. Like each time I have to pass through the military cantonment.
Yes.
Towards this, so I picture that stuff. It's tourist stuff I saw some time ago in Dubai, being able to utilize or take advantage of the waterways to make it a tourist attraction.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now we have tourism actively thriving. However, you might say, well, is it formalized? Is it the way it should be? I'm sure it could be improved upon, but we actually have a lot of tourist activities on the waterway. So a lot of, if you come here, if you were to visit any of the jetties on the weekend, you see that a lot of people are actually going to the beaches. They're going to other popular ones with Takwa Bay, in Lashe or Ibeshe. You have thousands of people on the weekend who are constantly visiting these locations. And some of these locations as well even have modern infrastructure now. Somewhere like in Lashe has a lot of modern beach houses and beach locations where you can actually go to and have a very, very good time. So I would say tourism has actually started, but of course, is there opportunity for it to be ramped up? Most definitely, there is opportunity for it to be ramped up.
How do you collaborate with private organizations? Lagos, waterways, but what's the collaboration with the private organizations? There's always this public-private partnership.
Yes.
How is it working?
Yeah, well, we regulate the waterways, and by regulating, what we do is provide a enabling environment for the private operators. So the boats you see on the waterway, the commercial boats, just like you have the downfalls and the BRT, you also have on the waterways. The private sector are the ones who are mainly doing commercial transportation. We are just regulators ensuring that these boats are adhering to safety rules and regulations. However, we have a public operator. So as well as we have private operator, we also have a public operator called Lagos Ferry Services. And Lagos Ferry Services complements the work of these private operators, but about 90% of the sector is driven by private operators.
It's like I'm still concerned about the safety, the provision of life jackets for all ages of people that use the waterways.
Yes.
What's the situation right now?
Well, it's good. So basically, we have adult life jackets and we have children's life jackets. The state government on a yearly basis provides these life jackets for them. But at the same time, we also have generous donation from companies who do it as CSR. But it's also the primary responsibility of operators to ensure that they have life jackets for all the different categories of people going around. We enforce that as well. So for us, the carrot and the stick approach, we provide these life jackets for them, but we also enforce on the boat operators as well who don't have adequate life jackets as and when due on their boats.
Now, it's the responsibility of the Lagos Waterways Authority to clean up the waters. At some point in the year, we see water hyacinths, springing up. And I keep wondering what because it stays on that water for a very long time before, I don't know how it goes off. But I do know that water hyacinths is really, not so good. I don't know, but you have to tell us that, because I heard that it can cause accidents and all of that. Now, is it your responsibility to clean up the waterways? And again, I know that I've looked at our waters, and sometimes I'll be like, why do we have so much dirty water around? I mean, as compared to sea, is it the color of our water or what? Sometimes the water is really not. So who takes care of the water to ensure that water is clean?
Water is everyone's responsibility. And the reason why I said that is pretty simple. Water has no waste of its own. The waste is coming from somewhere. So every time you drink that Coke bottle, every time you lick that sweet, every time you finish eating that pack and dump it on the road, it's ending up in the waterways. Because why? It's being washed, obviously, into the drainages, and the drainages are emptying into the larger water. So it's a this is an opportunity to be able to speak to us that we need to improve our cleanliness culture as a people and stop littering our environment. Every time you litter the environment, you are indirectly littering the waterways. That's where all of that we're seeing. And that's why our waters cannot be as blue as it should be. Also, another thing is the open defecation. Those who are defecating the waterways, those who are openly defecating the waterways, either through your, whatever it is you're doing, also are contributing to the why the waterways are the way they are. Then to water hyacinth. Water hyacinth is a seasonal weed. It's not only common to Nigeria, it's common to so many African countries and even out beyond Africa. However, what do? We find innovative ways to be able to deal with water hyacinth. One of the things we first of all do is look at the strategic positions where the water hyacinth is coming and how is it affecting the operations of those who are functioning around those areas. We then peg the water hyacinth, and then we then clear the water hyacinth from those locations. But we've also realized that we can't clear all the water hyacinth. So we have partners. There's a body called Metimet, which is a non-governmental organization, which is transforming the water hyacinth into products you'd see like mats, like rugs, like coasters, which now we basically take the water hyacinth, we go to communities, train the youth and also the women and the men to be able to turn this water hyacinth into things that they can even sell. So it's like empowerment. It's like social empowerment. It's like local social empowerment, which we're doing with the water hyacinth. We also have another company which is turning the water hyacinth into something called biochar. And that biochar is like a manure being used even in farms. So you're seeing that the water hyacinth also even has a third use, which can also be transformed into biofuel. But we're not yet doing with anything with anyone. But with the two companies I mentioned to you, two non-profit organizations are currently working with us, and every year we take the water hyacinth and actually do this with them every year.
I'm surprised to hear that. I used to think that water hyacinth is just
so it's a waste, but obviously waste to wealth, waste that can be generated to wealth. So.
Now you talked about people openly defecating around waterways. What's done to check that? Because we see it all the time.
Yeah, but however, it goes beyond. Yes, you can. Are you going to put people at every single spot on the waterway? That's impossible. It still goes back to we as a people being more responsible. Yes, the state government will try and say, okay, they want to enforce, but how well can you man this entire waterways in Lagos by putting officials every single? It's impossible. There's no way you'll be able to do that. So, of course, the state government does a lot of sensitization and of course, enforcement around this as well.
What about the security situation about ensuring that the waterways are secured?
Well, in terms of security, we partner with the Navy and the Marine Police, who are in charge of security of the waterways. We feed them information, and they are the ones who are primarily responsible for security of the waterways, the Navy and the Marine Police.
Now, do you work with the locals? Because I know that permit me to talk about the Niger Delta. There are some boys like the creek. Like anytime they go into the water, they can do anything. Like grow up around there, they can do anything. So do you have Lagosians, that have that expertise? The locals. I'm not talking about the school and all that, but to ensure that the localities and their environments are being watched.
So first of all, we don't have locals who are causing violence on our waterways. Let's put it out there on our Lagos waterways, because we know that is something that happened in the south. Of course, we know that that's been curbed now, thanks to government intervention, of course, private sector involvement as well. But when you mention locals, most of the people who currently are on the waterways and who are currently even stakeholders in the waterways are locals. Even the boat operators, they are locals. Many of the boat captains and deckhands are actually local. So to speak to what you said, yes, they're actually involved in the current setup of the waterways, and they have local knowledge. We call it that they have local knowledge of where to go and where not to go. They know their routes very well, and these are the ones who are trying to even build their capacity to ensure that they can form into from the informal to the formal waterways setup.
Yeah. Now let's go to the 410 euro
Million euros.
eco water transportation system that
Called the OMI-ECO.
yes, talk to us about it.
Okay, so as you know, to develop any sector, you need investment, whether it be local or be foreign investment. This is a sector that obviously needs not local investment alone, but also foreign investment. So what you get from the OMI-ECO 410 million euros is a foreign investment into the waterways to develop to develop the infrastructure of the waterways, be it the jetties and the terminals, to also get ferries, electric ferries, to also build the capacity of LASWA, and finally to dredge the required waterways. We've identified 15 routes, of which of those 15 routes as well, 10 are major, 5 are feeder routes, and to be able to ensure that we can adequately move people from point A to point B. Right now, we would say that water transportation is contributing somewhere around 3% to 5% of the entire transport modal share. But through this project, we're going to see it getting up to almost 15 to 20% of the transport modal share. So it's a significant investment. It's, of course, a loan and a grant funded project, because there's also a grant element to this as well. And it's mainly meant to boost water transportation in Lagos State. There's never been any like it in sub-Saharan Africa. So the first of its kind indeed. And of course, it significantly changed the entire landscape of the waterways in Lagos State.
With the quantum of work that Lagos State has embarked on, or the Lagos State government is doing, in the area of transportation, the blue rail, the red line, and then there's water. With some of this, do you see this being achieved, by the end of this present administration? Is it possible?
Absolutely.
Because it's like a gigantic.
Absolutely. The first phase is up to 2030, but the first phase will be completed during the term of this current administration. Yeah, as long as, because obviously there are timelines set, and those timelines are being strictly adhered to. So yes, the first phase will be launched in the current of this administration.
Then you talked about the electric ferries. Is
Yes.
this something you want to experiment on, or something?
No,
that
so
you're sure you
we're
want
actually
to do?
we're actually not experimenting. As you know, like I said, it's all about integrated transportation. As we speak now, there are electric buses right now on the road. However, the electric buses will be ramped up. We'll see. You'll see it very soon. I'm sure towards the end of the year, early next year, you will begin to see a lot more electric buses. And if they're electric buses, then what's stopping them from being electric ferries? As long as the infrastructure is available, you will have electric ferries on the waterways in Lagos State.
Yeah, I sure want to know how that works, because
Absolutely.
it's something we have, like you said, is the first of its kind. So
Absolutely.
I sure want to see how that works in Lagos State.
Most definitely.
Like they said, Lagos is working. We want to know how far Lagos is going to go with all of this. So what you said is too early to say congratulations, but we're looking forward to some of these things happening in our time and these things being achieved. Thank you for your time. Anything else you want to talk to people about?
Well, just to speak to safety, because they tell everyone that use the waterways is a viable option. However, if you're going to use the waterway, make sure you stay safe, make sure you put on your life jackets, and please, if you see something, say something. Thank you.
We've been talking to Mr. Emmanuel Olua Damilola, the General Manager, Lagos State Waterways Authority. He's been our guest today on Fact, Phase, and Forum. Moving on, I'll be talking about the health segments of this program. Now, a lot of people go to the gym, and some, take a walk. What is the advantage?
In the pursuit of a healthier lifestyle, exercise stands as a cornerstone, extending its benefit beyond physical well-being to mental health and overall quality of life. Walking as an exercise is a wonderful way to enhance your physical and mental well-being, and it's a low-impact exercise that is accessible and can be easily incorporated into daily routines. Whether it's a leisurely stroll or a brisk walk,
it keeps you fit, makes your bone stronger. I feel strengthened, I'm energized.
Make you feel more energetic and more efficient to do some things.
Regular exercise reduces the risk of chronic diseases, strengthening muscles, and improve circulatory system. Every step you take is a step towards a healthier and happier you. Keep walking, keep thriving.
I do take some walk sometimes, but I don't walk a lot. I just go to the gym to work out. But some people don't have that time, are not able to manage that time. So, but they advise that you can walk 30 minutes 3 times a week, you'll be fine. Now, on entertainment segment, we just lost a music icon, our dear own Onyeka Onwenu, after a wonderful performance at her best friend's 80th birthday. We'll look at the times and songs of Onyeka Onwenu on our entertainment segment.
Today, we remember a true music icon, Onyeka Onwenu, whose melodies grace our hearts and define generations. Her voice was a beacon of love, hope, and resilience.
I express myself in that validation of somebody else as a way of saying to God, thank you. Thank you what you've done in the life of this person, and thank you for what you're doing in my life.
Among her many unforgettable hits, One Love stands out. This song wasn't just a tune, it was an anthem of unity and togetherness, echoing the values Onyeka held dear.
One love, keep us together. Living in a world, it's a struggle, just staying alive. One love, keep us together. Living in a world, it's a struggle, just staying alive.
As we listen to One Love, we celebrate Onyeka Onwenu's legacy. Her music will continue to inspire and bring us together, just as she always intended. The legendary Elegant Stallion was so passionate about her music. Her last performance was at the 80th birthday of her friend Stella Okolie. Thank you, Onyeka, for the melodies and the memories. Rest in peace.
Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Facts, Face, and Fun. My name is Peace Isaac Hero. You can use the waterways, and if you have water phobia, it's safe to walk, to travel by water. It's safe in Lagos State. I don't live in the environment where I need to travel by water, but it's safe in Lagos, I assure you. So if you need to travel by water, just go ahead. You have been assured. Life jackets. That's what we have talked about today on our main segment. Thank you for being there. And please, we do know that so much is going on there, or has gone on in terms of protest. We do hope that you stay safe wherever you are. My name is Peace Isaac. We'll see you some other time. Bye.